What's going on, yo? I'm here to talk about the buffs and changes I've made to Zarude in my ROM hack. Before I get into explaining the thought process behind the abilities and how they function and all the new move buffs and changes, which are super important, I do want to have a disclaimer for anybody who's new here. First of all, shout out to you. I appreciate you clicking on the video. Make sure y'all, drop a like, sub to the channel, all that good stuff. I'm trying to hit 2,000. It helps support my work and get my ROM hacks out to more people. But I recommend, if you are new here, to pause the video and read the description, because I've got a lot of useful bullet points that explains the basics of how the ROM hack is balanced and what a team-locked nuzlocke is and how the game's intended to be played, and a lot of the reasons for the way things are the way they are. Definitely give that a read. And then, as I just alluded to, the moves in the game are all totally reworked. So when you're done with this video, I would check out the little sheet link down below, and it has all of the categories here you see on screen. You can click them and it'll take you there. There's more, but the way I have the screen cropped right now for the video doesn't show it all. But yeah, you can click all these and it'll take you to the sections for the moves, and that's all super important because every move being changed, or not every single, but the vast majority of moves being reworked really does change up how the game plays. So yeah, with that being said, Zarude, I just got off watching the movie. I went to go look at one scene of it, and then I ended up watching the whole damn movie, so that's cool. Now I got the damn song stuck in my head. I was gonna use it for the background music, but it's like a shitty loop, and it was too distracting. So anyway, Zarude, Grassy Surge is a pretty obvious ability for it, even after seeing the movie, even more so. Their whole thing, I mean, they have that signature jungle healing, they're kind of about healing and whatever. It does kind of, mesh with, what's the word for it? I guess not overlap with Rillaboom, obviously, because Rillaboom is pure grass, while Zarude is grass dart. And Rillaboom, I mean, you could compare the bulk if you really want to compare the two. Of course, they have two completely other different abilities that change up how they play. Only sharing one ability is not a big deal. Zarude is bulkier, though. Which, yeah, he's actually a lot bigger than you would expect. When I watched him, I was like, damn, this guy's big as hell. So that's why I gave him more HP, and I just switched up the defense a tiny bit, just because I think it makes more sense, personally. This stat distribution looks nicer to me. But yeah, Grassy Surge is obviously great. It gives him that 30% boost to strong grass moves. He doesn't have Wood Hammer like Rillaboom does, so that's one thing, I guess. Like, for Scar from Grassy Surge sets, he can't spam Wood Hammer. He has to rely on either Vine Lashes or Leaf Blade or Frenzy Plant for, like, strong spammable. Well, Frenzy Plant isn't spammable, is the thing. Frenzy Plant will give Zarude, it's 140 power, right? So it's incredibly strong and it's physical, but it essentially functions like Draco Meteor in the sense that it's like physical Leaf Storm. That's the best way to put it. It's physical Leaf Storm, so it's very, very, very strong, and it also works really well with Unburden and Intimidate even. So all three abilities have really cool synergy with Frenzy Plant, which I think is really cool, because Intimidate, obviously switching around to then remove the attack drop, synergizes well with Frenzy Plant in that regard, and then also Unburden with White Herb with Frenzy Plant is really strong, although there is a much easier way, other easier ways to trigger Unburden and better ways to trigger Unburden. I would say the best ways to trigger Unburden are either Endure Pinchberry, free attack boost. Endure Lychee Berry is incredibly strong. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really strong in an in-game context. You don't have to worry about the AI throwing out random priority moves, and if you do, you'll see them coming. So most of the time, you'll just outspeed and get a bunch of kills until like the Quick Claw Mon comes in or something else. And you also have a multi-hit stab moves. So obviously, you can run loaded dice with Fury Swipes and Bullet Seed and Pummel, which is obviously good, but that takes up your item slot. So with Unburden, you can use Vine Lashes. Vine Lashes is a really, really strong move in general on them. So Vine Lashes is essentially, I keep forgetting because I changed it from Sweltering. Is it 40? Yeah, so it's really strong. So Vine Lashes is technically slightly weaker than Seed Bomb on paper, because Seed Bomb is 90 power, while Vine Lashes is 40 times 2, it's 80. However, Vine Lashes always drops defense. So not only is it a multi-hit move, which is already great because it bypasses stuff like Focus Sash and Sturdy and all that crap, it also is really useful because it that second hit is going to be -1 defense. So 40 times 1.3 is, I have to calculate the effective base power on the first Vine Lashes. 40 times 1.3, 52. So Vine Lashes is roughly 92-ish base power, considering when you factor the defense drop. So that's really good. It's slightly stronger than C-Bomb, and it breaks sashes and stuff. And then, of course, if you use it again, then it's even stronger. Then you're getting crazy damage because they'll be -2 defense. But most of the time, ideally, you would like to OHKO the thing in front of you. Most of the time. Not always. You can definitely run bulkier Zarude sets. That's what Intimidate's for. And even Grassy Surge, you could do like a bulky Spadef Grassy Surge set with like Leech Seed, Synthesis crap. you know, you can kind of take advantage of that. And obviously Grassy Surge is also great for Grassy Glide. That's an obvious thing. He also has regular priority in the form of Seed Shot, as well as Sucker Punch. So those are both good as well. But Grassy Glide and Grassy Surge is really good. So you have even more speed options outside of Unburden, although Unburden is great. So your speed stat, while high, in an in-game context isn't as high as you might think it is, because you're only guaranteed, you're only getting 20 speed IVs in all the Pokemon in this game. All your eggs have 20 speed IVs, and then you're not guaranteed. You're only getting a plus speed nature at 20% of the time. So most of the time you're only going to be hitting, you know, not even base 90. Yeah, not even outspeeding base 90. So running Unburden to outspeed things, or Grassy Glide, or priority moves, whatever, or Scarf, Grassy Surge stuff is all really good. And then Intimidate is great for utility stuff. Again, you have that Parting Shot, Intimidate plus Parting Shot, Intimidate Leech Seed, whatever. Very, very useful. Also very fitting. So I do try to give, I put a lot of effort into giving all Pokemon 3 ability slots that distinguish them from one another. Including the ability slots themselves, right? So I don't want abilities that kind of do the same thing on the same Pokemon. So in this case, you can switch to Unburden for the raw speed and, you know, for sweepy stuff. Grassy Surge is pretty versatile. It's good utility and offense. It makes you stronger, and it also gives you healing, and also has other benefits like activating Terrain Pulse on all your allies. Every special attacker in the game gets Terrain Pulse via TM, so, you know, Grassy Surge, Terrain Pulse on your allies, very strong. Healing on your allies can help. It also weakens some niche things like weakening Earthquake, whatever. It has lots of, you know, it overrides other terrain. So if you're worried about like a Psychic Surge boss fight or an Electric Surge boss fight, you can use Grassy Surge to override that as well. So all types of cool ways you can take advantage of that. And an Intimidate is just good old reliable Intimidate. Very boring ability in my opinion, but it's obviously very good in an in-game context. You can switch around a bunch with or without Parting Shot and just debuff. Of course, that does risk crits, which is why I'm not a huge fan of Intimidate, but it's still very good, especially if you were willing to risk a couple crits. I think Intimidate's also good only even just for Zarude to use on himself outside of the team support, because it lets him live physical hits he wouldn't otherwise be able to live, right? So you can switch in on something you wouldn't otherwise be able to switch in on, and then kill them in return with a, you know, a strong move. So that's definitely useful. I'm just hating because I just don't like the ability very much, but it is very good. And also, if you're risking like one crit, it's not a big deal. I would say it starts to get kind of stupid if you're like Intimidate cycling every single Pokemon to -6 attack, and then it's like, okay, you're doing too much, you know? But if you're just switching in once, maybe Parting Shotting out, I think you're good to go with Intimidate. Very, very strong ability. It makes him much, much tankier on the physical side. So very simple, but then in the end game he's also got Fling, which is incredibly powerful. That's now a priority flinching move that has a new additional effect depending on your held item, right? So first of all, Terra Normal would go fucking crazy on him because you already have like Fake Out, Quick Attack, you know, Giga Impact, which is the same thing as Frenzy Plant but even stronger, Whiplash, you know, all types of cool things, but especially that Stab Fling. So Fake Out into Stab Fling would go so hard, but even without Stab, it's still really strong. You know, 130 power with Iron Ball, priority flinch. You can also use a Seed Shot or a Sucker Punch or a Creeping Strike or an Aerial Ace or one of these other priority moves to finish them off after. Aerial Ace and Creeping Strike being kind of like flying and bug type Shadow Sneak, so that's pretty great. Yeah, super fun. Even like Fling plus Grassy Surge could be good with Grassy Glide to finish them off, whatever it is. Fling is also great for utility. It lets you get a free para, toxic, or more importantly, I would say the best of the three is the Flame Orb. Getting a priority burn on something is incredible. That works great with Intimidate. That works great with Grassy Surge for the free healing. That works great with Unburden, because Unburden plus Fling obviously allows you to get the double speed boost. In this case, Fling being a normal type move actually hurts him. He would prefer to have the Stab Fling, but I've given Fling to every monkey Pokemon, and a lot of, you know, a couple of them on normal type, stuff like Slacking and Vigoroth, and there's others, and Ambipom, etc. Passimian is not normal, you know, stuff like that, which makes more sense to use Fling anyways. So yeah, being normal type just makes the most sense for the move in my opinion, and it also benefits more Pokemon than Dark would. Yeah, it is an exclusive move. It's on all monkeys and then a couple other like random guys. Maybe not every single monkey, but pretty much all monkeys are getting it. Which I think is funny, you know. And then, yeah, obviously Belladrum is very strong. I don't even want to talk about it because it's only legal for 9 boss fights, and mechanically I'm just not a big fan of sweeping. Obviously it's very strong. You can do Grassy Surge, Unburden, Grassy Glide, crap. Grassy Surge, Belladrum, Grassy Glide, crap, whatever, Sucker Punch. It's strong, and, you know, he is pretty tanky, so you can get off pretty easily, although in the end game it might be a little bit difficult. You definitely have to get some setup going, or just click it on, maybe in front of something that's debuffed, because I'm not one to hark on weaknesses because a lot of the time you can just outspeed or kill them or switch around or take a hit or whatever. It's easy to play around weaknesses in game, but if you're clicking belly drum, then weaknesses actually do matter. Like, yeah, they matter more because you're taking more damage from more moves. So clicking a belly drum safely is harder. Still very strong. I would say like even just Frenzy Plant is super fun. Brutal Swing is a dark type double edge. That's all really fun. And Brutal Swing has advantages over Wicked Blow, despite Wicked Blow being the same power because Wicked Blow can't be used twice in a row, meanwhile Brutal Swing can be. So Scarf, Brutal Swing is much better than the Scarf Wicked Blow on paper. Obviously, if you're just trying to get one kill and get out of there, then you're fine. But yeah, very straightforward overall. I don't really need to talk about too much else here. There's a bunch of coverage moves you can see, like Temper Flare. That's overall 120. It's the same thing as Wicked Blow. It's fire type. You got your takedown, your health thrust, Leaf Blade, Night Slash. Leaf Blade and Night Slash will always crit if you hold a scope lens, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, you got your good old, coverage, Play Rough, Thunder Punch, Rock Slide, all types of fun stuff there. U-turn. You guys get the idea. I don't think I need to talk about every single little move addition if it's not that relevant. Battle Cry is great with Intimidate, though. I will say that because Battle Cry drops attack and special attack by -2, so paired with Intimidate, it's a super great combo. Yeah, Vine Lash is incredible. Power Up is kind of ass unless you're running Wide Lens, and I don't know, at that point, might be better off with a different, like, I don't know, it's the same power as Leaf Blade. Actually, is it stronger? This is power 120, 125, or 130. What did I make it? 120, yeah. So, like, Leaf Blade Scope Lens is the same power as Power Whip, so it's not a huge deal. But, yeah, no, it's not very good. He doesn't have many inaccurate moves to take advantage of. It's just there for flavor. Or if you're not doing a Nuzlocke and you want to just go for the raw risky moves, you can, but that's not what the game's intended or balanced around at all. Other unburdened stuff, so obviously Quick Claw, very easy, but Endure Lychee Berry I would say is incredibly strong because Endure is just so easy to abuse versus the AI. And then you've also got like Frenzy Plant, CC Power Herb, Weakness Policy, Endure is incredibly strong with Unburden, like incredibly strong, especially because he does have a lot of weaknesses, so you can take advantage of that more with Unburden and just go crazy with that +2/+2. And what makes him kind of broken is that Fling. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. Like, I might have to either remove it from him or just rework the way things work because he has so many strong priority moves. It's pretty easy to cheese a Quick Claw on the AI, which means that Zarude, once you get Fling at this, especially once you get Fling, you'll have a very easy time being able to 6-0 teams, to 1v6 teams, which that is what I would define as broken. Anything else is not broken, but I would say if it can consistently like 1v5, 1v6 consistently, then that's pretty broken. With like very little effort, like in this case, switch him in, get your Unburden with whatever, even just straight up Quick Claw, 3 covers moves, plus Fling, that's all, it doesn't even matter at that point. And then you just fling the Quick Claw on and flinch them and say fuck you, it's pretty broken. So, it is what it is. I don't want to take away Fling from him, I think it's a cool move, but maybe I will in the future, but I don't know, there's so many Pokemon in this game. It is what it is. It's also an endgame move, like I said. So if you cheese like a couple of the last 9 boss fights with a sweep, then so be it. If that's how you want to play the game, I wouldn't even play that way personally, but it's up to you. Really, it. A couple other small things I could touch on, but I trust even like Hammer Arm with Unburden is good before you get access to close combat TM. Say you get access to Zarude in like the mid 40s, right? CCTM isn't until like the mid 50s, so or even later. So Hammer Arm is a strong fighting option that lowers speed instead of lowering. It's the same thing as close combat, but it lowers your speed instead of defenses, so that could be pretty good with Unburden. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Leave a comment down below if you made it to the end. I do appreciate you very much if you did, and I'll be back for more coming up, y'all. Peace. And I mean, I don't know, fucking jungle healing. It's cool, little heal move. It's strong. You can use it with like bulky Intimidate stuff. It's nice with like Battle Cry crap if you want to run, or like an Encore jungle healing. You can run him very defensively, which is cool. Because Grass Dark, even though it does have a lot of weaknesses, it also has really good resistances. So you can also like solo a lot of Pokemon or 1v1 a lot of things with your good defensive. Like your typing is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like you do take a lot of damage from combat attacks, but you're also number one, if you're running it offensively, that doesn't fucking matter because you can just outspeed and kill them. And then if you're running it defensively, then you can take advantage of your resistances. So that's fun. And yeah, I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Peace, y'all.